The PC you see right next to me looks pretty high-end, and it actually is pretty high-end because it has an RTX 5080 with a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. However, the whole build was extremely cheap, and this very unique case, which looks very good, was just 80 bucks. How is that possible? Well, it was simply because this case is from Mars Gaming and it's the MCB. And Mars Gaming is a brand which makes gaming components for very cheap. Now, they do copy other brands 90% of the times, but sometimes they also make their own unique brand new things. But the crazy thing is, their copies are very often better than the original component. So I've been using them a lot on the channel, and this case was the one that was missing. Now, as you can see, it is a tilted case and it is pretty strange. The cable management on the back is basically non-existent and the build itself is very odd. However, what we've done is we've gone with a pretty unique hardware choice in general. So let's start. Just wanted to be a high-end gaming computer. So we started out with the CPU, Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. Now, to make that run well, you just need a B850 motherboard. And if we wanted to fit a 360mm water cooler, we had to get a micro ATX motherboard in this case. And the radiator is going to be placed on the bottom, which is not ideal because if the pump is the highest point on the loop, generally, you're going to break it faster. However, the case is tilted, which means the higher point still is the radiator, or in general, it means that the air bubbles are not going to form inside the pump. So with this little trick, we can actually mount the pump on the bottom fine. And the cooler we chose is still from Mars Gaming, and it's the ML LCD. The cooler came pre-mounted and it has a simple 3-pin pump connector, 4-pin fan connector, and 3-pin RGB connector, and you just have to slot it in. It takes 2 minutes on AM5, super easy, and this actually cools the PC very well. I will show you guys the hardware monitor score after running Par25 for 3 hours, just quickly, and you can see that it's not even reaching 80 degrees. It's running extremely well considering that we are in Italy, it's summer, it's blazing hot, and we have a 30 degrees ambient environment. Now, to extract the maximum performance out of this Ryzen, you need good RAM, which is why we went with 32GB of Kingston Fury Beast, 6000 MHz RAM. This is low latency RAM from Kingston, which is both XMP and eXPO compatible, and the eXPO is gonna work 100% of times. I've never had them not work on me, out of the box, which is gonna give you a massive performance increase and which will allow you in the future to go ahead and tweak your RAM if you want. As usual, at ImWateringPSUs, they have a full guide on how to tweak your RAM. You can do that and get probably around 20% extra performance compared to stock with no XMP. Massive jump, but Ryzen is very RAM dependent. This being a high-end build, we also went with a Gen 5 drive from Kingston, the one you're seeing right now. It's an extremely good drive, and as you can see by the Crystal Disk Mark score, it does exactly what it promises. And I'm also very surprised by the B850GB Aorus Ice, which we've used for motherboard, because the heatsink was keeping the Gen 5 drive really cool all the time. Now, we did save a bit of money on the power supply. We went with an FSP non-modular unit, which still is 850 watts, so plenty fine for a 5080. Again, the Ryzen helps because the Ryzen really doesn't draw much power at all, and the PSU is actually plenty fine. We then went ahead and filled out the case with an extra 7 fans, but we paid just 10 bucks per fan because these are Mars Gaming wireless fans. They're very cheap. I've had them on the channel in the past as well, and they cool decent, but look great, and they fill out the case, making the PC look extremely high-end. For the GPU, we've gone with an Inno3D model. I reviewed it on the channel. I think it's not the best looking model out there, but it is a very good performer. It is cool on the memories, cool on the actual GPU, and it is not noisy at all. They also fixed the fan issue with Inno3D had in the past. So all in all, it's a great card. Now, of course, the all-in-one water cooler has a programmable LCD screen, because if not, we wouldn't be in 2025 and it wouldn't be called MC LCD. And so the PC came out looking great, and it performs like a high-end PC. It looks like a high-end PC. It actually is at the core, but we managed to save probably 300 or 400 bucks between case, fans, cooler, and PSU compared to a different build with similar specs. You can build a PC like this for right around the 2,000 bucks mark if you pick your components right. So at that point was time for some gaming, and I will tell you the performance of this thing because it is pretty amazing. Now, while I was gaming, I was also sent this Noobwo headset, which you've seen here for all of the video, And this is a pretty good value headset, which I think resonates with the PC because this is basically a clone of the Astro A50, okay? It looks the same, it has the same standing charging dock with a single USB-C connector. It also is Bluetooth, so you can connect it to your phone, and it has a 100-hour battery life, but comes in at literally half the price of the Astros. And honestly, the audio, the surround itself, it is very close to the Astros. So all the gaming tests I've done with this kit, which I fully recommend, and onto the gaming tests. On Apex Legends, we are maxing out the engine, even with the new season, at 300 FPS all the time, even in landing. And surprise, surprise, even in Warzone, we are fully maxing out the 300 FPS mark at 1080p. So this build is perfect for 1080p competitive gaming. Now, of course, being this much high-end, you can do 1440p 240Hz gaming. Fine, you can also do 4K with DLSS and enjoy every single player title out there plenty fine. So with that said, I want to hear what you guys think. If you think the PC looks cool with this very strange tilted looks, or if it actually looks bad, just let me know down below. Be honest, would you buy a PC like this? And if not, which case would you get instead? Or would you have gone cheaper in some other components? I want to hear what you guys think. It's something I care a lot about at ImWateringPSUs because I think it also helps other people watching the video. And with that said, if you watched the video this far, maybe drop a like and subscribe. And see you guys another time if you decide to stick around. Bye bye.